just get excited when we can find connections with each other. Being able to connect people and even connect people to not just other people and organizations, but like their environment and their passions, right? So being a teacher was one of the things that I wanted to do since I was fifth grade. I grew up in the military. Parents met in Korea, and we lived there for my first 5 years. And that's where I started to really want to help people. And when I was in Germany, I had a teacher, amazing person. She had a child who needed some braces on his feet, and she just helped us with so much, and it was a great example. So since then, I just knew I wanted to be a teacher.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Mark Pfaff. Mark is the Director of Special Education at the at Tehama County Office of Education, which is in Red Bluff, California. Boy, I fumbled over that one, Mark.
A lot of different ones. My last name, Tehama. Spell it off the cuff. Yeah, it's definitely
Tehama. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Even though I flubbed through it, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your grace. I appreciate that.
it. No problem.
So tell our listeners a little bit about what Tehama does and what your role is there.
Well, we are a county office of education. We also have our SELPA, which is our special education local plan area that works alongside, and we support around 14 school districts in Tehama County. It's quite large. Couldn't give you the exact number right now, but we're serving schools that have under 500. Some of them are just K-8, and they started as one room schoolhouses, and they're a little bigger now. But yeah, it's from the big to the small, definitely.
I was talking to a listener the other day in Colorado, and all these gold mining towns, and they had they did all these little schools, and they as we became more industrialized, right? They consolidated, so they have all of these regions. So I'm sure that's probably a little, because you're in that area, right?
Yeah. We have some schools that have consolidated into to create bigger unified school districts, but we still have some of the smaller ones too.
Yeah. Crazy. Wow. Yeah. I'm sure you've got some really interesting and diverse history in that area as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So, so tell me where is your passion, and what is it that drives you to do what you do?
Oh man, I'm just I just wanted I just get excited when we can find connections with each other, and being able to connect people and even connect people to not just other people and organizations, but like their environment and their passions, right? So being a teacher was one of the things that I wanted to do since I was fifth grade. um, I grew up in the military. My parents met in Korea, and we lived there for my first 5 years, and that's where I started to really want to help people. And then when we got back to the States, there was still some things, but when I was in Germany, I had a teacher, amazing person. She had a child who needed some braces on his feet, and he and she just helped us with so much, and was a great example. So since then, I just knew I wanted to be a teacher. And
Wow.
so finding the ability to that joy of connecting people to ideas and each other is just amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. We all have that one person, don't we?
Yeah.
I, it's so great because, I asked you that question and you just lit up, just
Yeah.
like what,
There's so many
'cause
ways to go with that. I mean,
yeah,
it still is. Yeah.
right. But you love what you do, right?
Yeah.
You love so what kinds of things are happening? What are the goals or things that are happening with the Office of Education there that you can share with our listeners?
Yeah, if you're not familiar with where Tehama County is, just visually for people, we're kind of at that bend of California when it kind of bends up, right? If you're just looking at it, right?
Hmm.
And we're right in the middle. We've got we go 3 hours one way to get to the ocean, and we can go to the mountains the other way. So um, we have such a diverse area, but it's really rural. We can take an hour to get from one end to the other. We're usually driving back roads. There's one highway that kind of goes straight through, right? And so we have access. We have access to a lot of rural communities. What Tehama County is doing right now is I'm a regional implementation lead for CAPTN, regional implementation lead, REAL, for CAPTN, and CAPTN is an acronym. It's California Autism Professional Training and Information Network. Um, and as a regional implementation lead, in charge of the region. So when counties have separate regions, I'm in regions 1 and 2. So that's basically the North State. So
Okay.
we're heading up a lot of training and information dissemination and for parents, for teachers on autism evidence-based practices. So that's one thing we're doing. Another one is we're part of a state initiative around alternative dispute resolution. So we have a team. I have a colleague that is heading that up with a couple other people here. So um, we are connected with the SELPA. Our current assistant superintendent Veronica Coates. She is um, the the SELPA president currently. So we are definitely, as a rural community, even though we're way up here and we're not as dense, we're still leading a lot of big initiatives.
Very good. Very good. That's
Inclusion
awesome.
initiative, yeah, all that stuff, everything.
Yeah. I love the inclusion model. It's, as an educator of 31 years, I'm an SLP. It's always nice to when you see that the kids are just included and the disability isn't what defines them. That's just what they're dealing with, right? So very, very cool. Very cool. So when you are on these committees and doing these things, what kinds of services or professional developments do you guys, what do you offer for those things?
Yeah, so there's a lot of training that is developed and brought to districts and counties throughout California. We would definitely be able to help identify for even through Captain, be able to identify someone in San Bernardino that could help you, that is a cadre member. So we're throughout California.
Okay.
ADR, alternative dispute resolution, working with families and school districts to facilitate difficult conversations, and knowing that there is some science behind this, right? So
Hmm.
using implementation science and improvement science to really guide the practices that we're doing so it's sustainable.
And is that just in your area or is that all over as well?
It's all over. It's all over. We just are leaders in that piece. We hold leadership roles. So I hold the leadership role in Captain. We work with the UC Davis Mine Institute and various organizations to really develop over 500 cadre members throughout California to go out and disseminate information, train in best evidence-based practices, not just practices, but evidence-based practices, and also train in dispute resolution and helping people find common ground.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because we all want the same thing. It
Yeah, we're just
doesn't.
talking different languages, right?
Exactly,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah, and that's really great. So if there's a district, would you say every district is aware of this, and that it's available to them?
You know, education is an interesting place because although we're all under that education umbrella, although we all have access to everything each other has, mostly, not everybody knows. not everybody knows. So that is the job of it. If everybody did know, we wouldn't really need to do all
Right.
of this, right?
Right.
So we're still getting out there, and parents are becoming new parents. No matter how many times they become a parent, they're becoming new parents, and
Mhm.
they need support too. And
Yeah.
so there are some limits that schools have, and some limits that even support organizations like Far Northern Regional Center. They're part of CAPTN. They have seats at the table. Family Resource throughout California, higher ed. They all have seats at the table to have a real discussion and work together. So in this region, in the North State, from Butte County all the way up to Modoc, Siskiyou County, that area, all the way over to Humboldt Del Norte. I have access to people, not I have people, but I have access to people that can really help support districts in when they're struggling with something that they need help with.
Awesome. That's really,
Yeah,
really great. Yeah. So if I am a school in California and I need some help with something like that, where do I go to find that information?
man, so for Captain, you could just type in, say you go onto Google and you just type in Captain Autism,
Okay.
that'll come up. If you go to captain.ca, like California.gov, that'll take you to the website. That website actually also connects to a lot of the what they call the innovative practices, kind of around inclusion, right? But it's more innovative. It's this thought that we're creating something that really should be, and how to support all people. So there's connections there. You can go onto our website, and it'll show all the people that we connect with.
There's a big difference between being supported by somebody who's walked in your shoes and someone who hasn't. At Lighthouse Therapy, our leadership team is made up of experienced clinicians who've actually worked in schools. We understand the pressure you're under and what real support looks like. That's why our therapy solutions, whether it be virtual, hybrid, or in person, are built with you in mind. No complicated systems or red tape, just streamlined support and seasoned therapists who are ready to make a difference. Learn more at lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together. Very cool. That's really, really neat. So, what would you say in your job is your biggest challenge then?
Time. There's really so much to do out there,
Yeah,
and really kind of picking and choosing where the focus is going to be. But there's a huge team here at Tehama County, and we support each other.
yeah.
We do something a little different in Tehama County than some other counties do, because some counties are separate from their SELPAs. We are together.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that we do, like we run programs. Like I'm the director for our TK to eighth grade extensive needs classrooms. So, and these classrooms are classrooms that, in our districts, no matter how big or how small, if students aren't able to access their services at their site, or at a site that is a little bigger and has more resources, then the kind of final stop is coming to us. And we have a smaller setting. We have staff who are trained, and then we take that training and pass it on to them. And then students are able to access those things as they need them. And then we have them go back to their districts if that's kind of what needs to happen. But we support all students here. But Tehama County does have a big team, and
Mm-hmm.
that team works pretty well together. I mean, when you work so much with people, you become family. So
Yeah.
that brings on some other nuances that you can't expect. So yeah.
Yeah. So you actually have students at your building all year long.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, do you follow
Yeah.
a typical school
Well, yeah,
calendar is
we
what I'm
we we
saying. Yeah.
follow, yeah.
Yeah.
So like the program I run, as the director for the TK program that I run, I also run the DHH program that's here in Tehama County, the deaf and hard of hearing
Yep.
program
Yep.
that
Yep.
we have in the county, and I also am manager, supervisor for speech therapists, to help those smaller schools who don't have enough students, or enough funding or enough people to provide the service to the students there that need it. Um, we work with different vendors to get people out there.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
What?
I'm an SLP too. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
yes.
Oh, SLP. Oh my gosh. You all are you all are amazing, amazing. I have some really great SLPs. We've run into some really tight areas because, as you know, there is a choice out there for people
Yeah.
with your skill. They could be in person or they could be virtual. And
Mhm.
who, if you like being at home and but you like working and you like doing the work, there's a choice, right?
Yeah.
So so we had a couple retirements here and we had a couple of things, but we had to find people, and a lot
Mhm.
of them were virtual.
Mhm.
Um, and some people are really hesitant about virtual, but there's really not a lot of support saying that one is better than the other.
Right.
There's always everybody's different too, right?
Mhm.
So one SLP, whether they're in person or whether I got a group of them, they're all going to be different, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, and we always say that teletherapy isn't a different therapy, it's just a different modality,
right, right,
different way to provide those services. And you can get a good SLP or you
yes,
could get a bad
yeah,
SLP. And unfortunately, sometimes people equate a poor service or a poor SLP. And I'm not disparaging anybody. Please don't hear that from me. But, we all have our skill sets and honestly, true, sometimes people just don't mesh. There's times when we say that all the time here. It's like even if it doesn't go well at that particular place because you didn't get along with that person, doesn't mean that you're doing a bad job. We just need to put you in a place where you can, because there are always and once a relationship is broken, it's really hard to repair it. So,
really
yeah.
is
So,
that space of trust. And but
yeah.
that's the everybody, we take experiences and we take the people that we work with and we do categorize them. It's human nature. We're going to categorize things, right? So we're going to categorize it as good or bad right now in a lot of different ways. We have to categorize things, whether it's this or that.
Right.
Sometimes a lot of people can work in that gray area. I'm a gray area kind of person on some things, but on other things, not so gray area.
Yeah, yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, I get it if you don't want. I mean, this is what I do. This is what I do. So, but I always tell people, I'm like, if they're when we get a lot of objections, no, I really want in person. I get that. I totally get that. And if I can find you in person, we will find you an in person. But the chances of that, especially which it's January 27th, 2026, it's the beginning of the second semester. Yeah, finding an in person
Maybe
is
later in March.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe come back in
And that's
February.
probably for the fall. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like I can get you a virtual person in 7 days. In person, not so much. But it's like would you rather, this is always my question, would you rather your kids not have services at all
No,
or get a really good virtual therapist in there who knows what they're doing and wants to work?
and they're out
It's
there.
yeah, rather than being out of compliance and going, we have at Lighthouse, we've had schools come to us and they've been searching and searching and searching, and then we end up doing comp minutes for like a whole semester. So we'll
Oh my
do
gosh.
a whole semester of comp while we're doing a whole semester of direct, and it's just, we do what we have to do when we get there. But it's just tough. It breaks my heart sometimes that people won't consider the virtual piece because they only want in person. And it's like, yeah, because they had a bad experience, and I get that if you've had a bad experience. But yeah, that was that experience, right? It's like anything else. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. But I love what you guys are doing. Sorry, you got onto my
Yeah, I know.
soapbox.
You're good. Love it.
Yeah, that's my passion,
Connecting
obviously.
passions right there,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
it's beautiful, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is.
Yeah.
It is pretty great.
Yeah. So where do people go if they want to specifically, Mark, find you or have questions? I know a lot of people in California are going to be, and I'm assuming a lot of them know, but if you don't know, and if they want to find out more information, where should they go, or just connect with you through your website? How's that work?
Yeah, so Tehama County SELPA has their own website. Tehama County Department of Ed also has their own website. But if you go to the County Office of Ed website, it will, and you go to special education, it will connect you to the SELPA one. The county, the Tehama County SELPA website does have a lot of information that you can go into, looking at supports and services and understanding what's out there. Another good idea would be go onto the CAPTN website. It's www.captain.ca.gov. That'll also help get you connected to a lot of links, because this is the internet brings us such a big world, right? And there's
Mhm.
so much in it that people just don't know about.
Mhm.
And sometimes when I show this resource to a teacher or a parent that has been doing this for quite a bit of time, they're like, why haven't I seen this,
Yeah.
right? And that's the kind of man, if I knew what I know now, like, kind of thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
so going onto those websites will start you. I mean, I could list off a bunch of them, and I'd have to actually look at the name to make sure I'm listing the right
No,
one.
that's fine.
But the California Department of Ed also has a lot of areas of resources for people to access. If they've already gone on that, the ones I talked about with the Tehama County SELPA and Captain, those are going to be the ones that are more specific around special education.
Nice. Yeah. So one more question. If you could just fix one thing, it can't be money, but if you could just fix one thing in your world, in your world of your job and what you do, just miraculously fix it, you never have to worry about it again, what would that one thing be?
Trust.
Mm.
Trust is such a big component of everything that we do. I mean, not everything that we do has been seen every single day, right? There's something new that comes up. I mean, we started talking about, you know, um, before COVID, right? And after COVID, those things, that thing that happened didn't just happen and everybody just kind of moved on, right? We had to do a lot of stuff, right? And that broke a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Um, because we had to go through a process of learning too, right? And no matter how new you are, as whether you're an SLP or whether you're a teacher or even administrator, no matter how new you are the expert, right?
Yeah.
And so we went to a lot of experts, and experts were like telling them different things. So trust is a huge aspect. If I could just be like, yeah, just trust each other and actually follow through with it,
Yeah.
not
Well,
just
that's part of
blindly
trust.
trust.
That's part of the
It's not,
trust.
and you're
Yeah.
right, right? Everybody
Absolutely.
does, it's reciprocated, right?
Right.
So yeah, yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good
Yeah.
one, Mark. I love your passion. I love what you guys are doing. I will definitely go and check it out because it is something that I need in my wheelhouse. We have a lot of contracts in California, and I want to make sure that I'm sure that I'm not saying that they don't already know, but it's like, hey, if this is something that you don't know about, then we need to make sure that you do.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly.
really good. That's really,
Exactly.
really good. So thank you. Thank you for coming on the show, Mark. Thank
Yes,
you for telling us
absolutely.
about what you're doing, and just keep it up. Keep up the good work. It's
I appreciate your time.
yeah, absolutely. Take care.